A normal cortisol pattern is pretty simple. It basically follows the rhythm of the sun. When the sun goes up, the cortisol levels in our bodies go up, and it actually helps us wake up in the morning. And as we approach noon, and actually throughout the morning, they'll be kind of raising up. And as they hit noon, they'll start coming back down. And towards sunset, cortisol should fall off, and a lot of the more anabolic type hormones then take over. And it's this rhythm, this high cortisol relatively early on in the day, then dropping off during sunset, is kind of what we typically want to see. If we see an inverted graph where the morning's super low and really doesn't get up, or in the evening is high cortisol, then it's going to definitely interfere with sleep, and there's going to be a lot of different problems. So we want to definitely have a basic understanding of the rhythm of cortisol when we're looking at this hormone. One of the ways we can assess the HPA axis, that hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, is to test the cortisol, which is a byproduct of that in response to stress. And we can see if the body's actually responding properly. So there's two tests I like to run, the BioHealth 205 and also the Dutch Complete. Actually, a couple different, the Dutch labs, but this test below is a Dutch lab. And you can see way off on the right that it shows the 24 free cortisol and also what's called the metabolized cortisol. And the stars are kind of the reference range somewhat. Like, for example, for the 24 free cortisol, you see 80 to 180 at the 2 stars, but this individual is 239. So you can see their free cortisol is much higher, and their metabolized cortisol is even higher yet outside of that side, and that's the amount that they have actually metabolized through their body. And when we look over on the graph on the left, we can actually see that this pattern during the day is much higher than it should be. The client has, I'll try to highlight it here, they're way out there. This is them right here, and the reference range is below. So they're outside of that reference range, and they're basically elevated all throughout the day. So this person is kind of what would be typically known as a stage 1 adrenal exhaustion, where they have a stress and they are responding to it, but they're producing a whole bunch of cortisol, which have all those symptoms we just mentioned they may be experiencing, like anxiety and things like that. So what we'll want to do is try to get this back down and figure out what's causing this high cortisol in the body. But this is a good test to be able to kind of pinpoint and figure out where cortisol is at.